now. Okay, so first of all, I will talk about a little bit about Elite Rounders. As you might know, I used to coach global staking with global staking, but sometimes you have to go your own way in a way and do coaching for yourself in this manner. But I want to explain a little bit about myself and Grayson. Head coaches are us, Marco Kepi and Grayson Nichols. And Grayson's history, a little bit, he used to be one of the top players in the world. 2010, he was like Pocket Files number 17. And since Black Friday, he's been actually coaching mostly. Because, of course, in USA, you couldn't really play on a lot of sites. So he figured it's a good point to take a step to something else. And, you know, he found his passion in coaching. He is playing sometimes on Twitch under the Dean221 on Twitch. You can find him there. He plays every Sunday if you want to watch him play. And there's the Pocket Fives. I guess if I'm going too fast, I guess you're not going to have time. But if you want the link, can I copy paste it here? I guess not. But yeah, Grayson's approach is more like focused on exploitation and population tells, and he's really the master, like making complex ideas into simple, actionable plays. I think which a lot of, let's say, even coaches struggle to explain things in like simple way and not make it too complicated. So you can read more on our website, Elite Rounders, and Vajas page, for example. And then I will talk about a little bit about myself and Grayson, how we met. So we met like 5 years ago because I wanted to actually like take a next step in poker. And Grayson was a great coach. And first year coached by Grayson, I made actually 115K playing average stake $30. So I have to say it works. And I was very happy with everything, how he was as a person. And it was joy to work with him. I had like a lot of coaching hours with him. But this is basically what is possible, like, you know, even at average stake $30. So that's what I want to point out here. And this was like 2015, 2016. So this was the graph. But yeah, just want to say, like, I've had so much positive experience with Grayson, so it's been joy to work with him. So I think you guys will love him as well. So let's hope we all get to similar results. And about the group sessions itself, so I will explain a little bit like what we are trying to do here. So we have two head coaches, again, Grayson and I, Marco, and we are about to do a little bit different sort of thing. So I will be more based on like the game theory, the softwares, and Grayson will be going over the hand histories, which you guys sent. I know that in some ways we will probably say a little bit different information, but again, remember that, let's say if you watch a lot of Twitch streams or YouTube, everybody thinks a little bit different, but it doesn't mean that you need to approach situations 100% from Marco's point of view or Grayson's. Just choose the whatever you think will fit the best to your game. And again, we don't want everybody to play the same way in a way, because I think also personality matters in poker. It's like some players want to play more solid, for example. Some people want to play more loose. Somebody wants to win every hand. Okay, I can teach you to win 100% BPI. If you're playing like 100% of your hands, I don't think I can help you make you a winning player. But the point is, like, I think we still want you to play your own game and use your own approach. But I think you can always take something from somebody's approach to the game and improve your overall game. So our mission for the group session is to find new information and not cycle the old used information. So again, I think in poker, it's very important that we are there to find new information, because like, or actually, I don't even mind that sometimes we use so old information, which used to be really good, but people kind of changed. For example, let's say three bet shoving or three betting. These days people just shove. Like, let's say 6 years ago, people would never shove. They would just 3-bet call always. I think that's, for example, pretty good concept because you can still have like 3-bet folds like with very short stack. I think it's useful, but people don't do that as often anymore. And I think it's kind of tougher to play against that, for example. But like such a lost strategies, in a way, this, of course, this is not like what maybe Munker would advise too much, like 20 big blinds, 3-bet folding, but it can be still done. But like, I think everything, like we want to have like new information, give you some new ideas. I think that's what poker is all about, having some new ideas and have some interesting poker game going, you know. Again, like we talked about earlier, so my group sessions will be focused more on different software. I'm learning new software use as well. I hope to master pretty much every software out there and hope to find some new info, and those we will be using basically. So, but what's the main focus here is to, sorry, the last line might be not seen that well. Can I move this? Okay, sorry, this. Yeah, so our main focus is to improve your overall game, especially with creation sessions, and then focus on the small details with Marco's group sessions. This will make you overall the strongest player. You will understand why you do things, which is optimal, what is optimal, and how you should play in general against the opponents. So again, there's a difference. Like we should know what we should do here, game theory-wise, and then we should know what we should do versus our population, right? There's a big difference. So I think creation will be more focused on the human factor of this game, which is very important. Because while you think everybody's playing GTO, I will tell you one thing: they are not. They are not playing close to anything like GTO, especially when talking lower stakes. So in a lot of spots, GTO should be kind of ignored, sadly. But it's still, the point is, that's what I want to point out. Like, even in my sessions, while we are talking about GTO, we should also consider the population. So it's not like we're going to ignore and just talk about GTO. And especially my sessions will be focused on small things. Okay, this is in wrong order. Sorry about that. But why focus on super small things? This sounds kind of funny because my sessions will be especially focused on like learning the small details of poker. And it sounds kind of like, oh, it's a time waste. Why did we focus on 1 hour on button versus big blind, let's say 15 big blinds deep, or 17 big blinds deep, or 25, you know? But the thing is, expertise comes from knowing something 100%. Like if we go over 10 hands of this situation, we will build like way better understanding of our, okay, 10 hands is a very minimal sample still, but like if you go over 10 hands of this situation, you will have better idea than if you just go over hand history and we talk about one hand. That's not going to improve this one thing that much. So especially in my sessions, I will try to focus more on situational things and improve your understanding of poker. Because everybody's kind of today, okay, c-bet everything, do that, do that. Why are we doing that? I don't actually know. Like a lot of people just click the buttons these days. They don't actually understand the logic or the game theory behind it and stuff like that. So that's why we want to build your skills to this 99% of the population. Because what I'm saying here is like in the end, poker is fairly simple game, to be honest. Like to get to like 90% that you are like winning player is fairly easy. Okay, it sounds a little bit cocky, but if we give you ranges, you've played poker for some time, I think you will be probably a profitable player on some stake already. But like, it's fairly easy to get to that 90%. But you have to understand that if you want to get to top of the poker, you need to get better at every skill. Like everything you do matters. Like every tiny detail is way for you to improve. Let's say my game is where I want to look at like specific hands, for example, how I play specific hand. I'm not looking at like how to play button or something. So again, there's like, it's very specific things I'm working on, but it sounds like a kind of waste of time, but that way I learned a lot of things. It's like, oh, I'm kind of leaking money here, calling here, for example, with deuces, because there's too many players behind, for example. That's just one example. But like, it's always harder to get that. After 90%, you make it top 90% in poker, every 1% becomes harder and harder. When you get to that 99 to go to 100, that will be tough. You'll be the top dog of poker. That's not easy. But it is possible. But I think you need to be working on certain topic like very specifically. I learned that in other fields as well, takes 20% of the time to learn. Yeah, it is kind of true. It is kind of true. Absolutely. So, but this is like 90%. This is just example. I think that is probably similar to like what you're saying. Like takes 20% of the time to learn 80 exactly. But the learning becomes so much harder after you make the top 90%. It's like the same as you go to gym, right? You lift first time. Oh, okay. Before you lift nothing, right? Now you lift 40 kilo, right? So you improve 40 kilo. Okay. So then you go again to gym. The progress is like much smaller. Maybe some point it's slows down. You don't improve at all. So again, that's life and that's poker. So don't get discouraged that your improvement is not that visible as well, because like if you follow this mouse, improvement is not like this. You know, it's not like straight arrow up. It's like this. Yes, you will have those terrible times. Then you go a little bit higher. You know, it can go like that. Maybe for somebody, it goes a little bit more steady, you know, like this. But the point is that we improve all the time a little bit and get closer to that 99% or 100%, whatever you want. But yeah. And for example, I use here, for example, Bill Gates reads 5 books about every subject he's interested in. So basically, if he reads 5 books about some subject, whatever it is, he's probably expert on it. I mean, who knows more than him? It's only the experts who work on that like area. So he's an expert in a lot of things, right? Like, so it's same applies to poker basically. You go over those small blind versus big blind hands, let's say 200 of those, and you will be probably pretty damn good playing versus small blind versus big blind, right? So the more you do those things compared to your population or competition, the better you will be. And again, remember, our goal is not to be perfect, to be honest. I don't think we will never get to that level that we are perfect, because we are human and we don't have perfect information on our villain. So our goal is just to be way better than our competition. That is the skill what we need. We just need to beat our competition. We don't need to be perfect. And as long as we know these small information, small piece by piece, we will become better. And at the end, we should be in this 99%. But again, I think you have to take in one factor. If you have one session with me every week, you are not going to be world class by 1 hour per week. You need to do more than 1 hour per week. This means like nobody is going to be world best player if they study 1 hour a week, or, you know, unless they can do something like they play and at the same time study. Some people can do that. Some people learn the best by playing, for example. But this means like you should be studying yourself similarly yourself, for example. But that's what it takes to be, if you want to be the best in this game, that's what it takes basically. But when we are confident with one part of the game, we can move on to the other one and fix that. Poker is all about building up your overall confidence to a very high level. Then you don't have to second guess yourself in a lot of spots. It builds up your confidence. So basically our goal is to make you a very profitable player with high confidence in your gameplay. So again, when you talk about high confidence, that means like a lot of the times you don't have to be second guessing yourself. That's what we want to get out of it. It's like, did I mess up that hand? You know, it's like you can trust your own conclusions. It's like, okay, Poppu lays and plays that way. I think this guy played that way. I can feel fine about my fold. I can feel fine about my check raise. I can feel fine. That's what we want you to feel. Like whatever you do it with confidence and you don't have to second guess. But that doesn't mean that you never replay your hands or, you know, definitely not. That's why you replay the hands to have that confidence, right? That's where we get it. When we understand the population very well, when we understand the villains very well, we can make big laydowns. We can make big bluffs when we start to understand. Maybe they made some timing tell, you see that they're more likely to fold, for example. But like all those small details add up, you know. But that's basically about explaining these group sessions.